Hi. Um, okay, in this video I'm going to talk about why I love the Deviant Moon Tarot deck as much as I do, what I think's special about it. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a ramble because I go off on tangents quite a lot in conversation, because that's what happens with really creative people, you know, us right-brainers. So this is the deck. This is my first Deviant Moon deck. I got this one in 2008, I think it was. It's the version with the borders, the first version they released. It was the first deck I'd bought in a long time, really. I had a couple of self-published decks, but I wasn't part of the online tarot community at the time. I was just joining it, and it was nothing then compared to what it is now. So I saw this deck, and the first thing that attracted me was the name, Deviant Moon. I'm very much a lunatic. I have, I think, 9 planets in water on my natal chart. I'm Cancer with Cancer rising. My moon is actually in Aries, but I've got a lot of lunar and water energy. Even I do numerology, and I didn't really do name numerology. I changed my name when I was about 18. But it's said to use your original birth name because there's some energy connected with that when you come onto this plane in this lifetime. So I worked it out, and in numerology, my birth number is I'm a 2911, and when I did my original given name at birth, it came out as a 2911. So, and it's the number 2 of the tarot card, which is of course the High Priestess, who connects very strongly with the moon. So yeah, there's lots and lots of loony stuff about me, as my family and friends will let you know loud and clear. So these are in no particular order. I'm just showing cards as I speak, and cards are falling out. These are just some of the cards of the deck. But why do I love this deck? So yeah, I chose it because I love the name Deviant Moon. The moon, she's deviant. She hides behind the cloud. She plays tricks on you. She pretends she's actually all there when half of us hiding. She's elusive, hard to pin down, and she's extremely powerful in a very quiet way. Anyone who says we're not affected by the moon, well, to me that's just plain lunacy. Anyway, so I'm just going to show you the whole deck. I'm not going to do a walkthrough now, that might come another time, but these are the backs. The backs are stunning. I mean, look at them, they're beautiful, reversible. Everything Patrick does has such integrity. It's just amazing. Everything about his work is just, well, I can't get my head around how amazing he is. If there was a real life magician in the tarot, he would be it, in my opinion. He's more than a tarot deck creator. He's much more than an artist. He is a magician, a shaman, you know, whatever. He's one of those things. So this is my original Deviant Moon deck, the bordered version. It's kind of pretty grubby at the edges. Kelly would black those edges, and I actually might do that. And then, I don't know when it was, 2014, I think, maybe, a couple of years ago, Patrick brought out, or US Games created the borderless version. Now look at that. So just like, so stunning. I'll try and find that card in my old deck so you can see. I want to get a spare copy of I don't want to cut my original deck because it's got so much energy. I don't even want to cut a little bit of it off. But I want to get another copy so I can trim it, so I can have a small borderless Deviant Moon. It won't be quite the same because we've got the titles are different on the old deck. You can see, if I ever manage to find this card, one of my favourite cards in the deck, the Four of Swords. So it would be really easy to trim one of the original decks, because the backs are at, the white bit is exactly the same as the white bit on the front, so I think it would look kind of cool. But I'll try and find... she's been very elusive, so I'm going to show you the Fool, who I also love. I love the Fool because he's like... a lot of these characters remind me of Venice for some reason, and I love Venice. See how they have the gold borders, the gold name plates on the bottom of the cards in the original deck? But if you look at the difference, so size-wise they're almost the same, but you get so much more image, and I really like the black titles. But as I said, this isn't really a deck review. This is about why I love this deck so much. There's the moon card. Look at that. Isn't that not the perfect moon? Puppeteers. We live by illusions. We're all created. We live our lives. Society creates this illusion, and a lot of people believe in it, and we tend to live by that. But we are puppets, you know, puppets of the puppet masters. They pull our strings. So, going back to this deck, so when I received my first deck, the energy of it, every card I connected with immediately, straight from the box. I didn't need to read the book. I just worked with it, and I couldn't get over these people. The deck is holistic. Everything in it flows completely. There is not one single card out of place. The characters that Patrick's created. I have issues and problems with tarot decks with people in, because people always remind you of someone, and you know, you may not like their expression, or they just interfere and mucky up the deck, in my opinion, in a lot of cases, or they leave me cold. A lot of the CGI decks just leave me cold. They're really flat. Patrick's created not just a tarot deck, he's created a universe of characters that are nothing like we've ever seen before. Yet I felt that I knew them pretty quickly. They have different faces, they have different sides, and when I first started reading with the deck, it reminded me of a book by Mary Norton called The Borrowers, a children's book. You may have read the book or seen the movie. Probably most people have seen the movie now, but it's a fantastic world about these little people that come out in the night and take over the big people's stuff and house, and make new uses for it. Sorry about that. A photo booth just keeps crashing and stopping recording randomly. I've reset my PRAM. I don't know what to do next. So I was talking about the characters and the Mary Norton book, The Borrowers, and how the little people come out in the night, and they use all the big people's possessions, but they create new uses for them. They see them from a completely different perspective. And this deck, with all the little deviants, as I call them, all the characters, really very quickly reminded me of that book. Because Patrick's created these characters, he's created them from clay, from parts of his life. He created them when he was very young. This whole world has been growing since he was about, I don't know, maybe 12 years old or something. I've done a lot of research before I got the book, which I got the other day, and I actually haven't read a lot of it yet because I wanted to do this video before I read the book, so I wasn't influenced by what Patrick said about the cards and things. That's just going to add to the joy and the love and the passion that I have for this deck. But yeah, going back to the characters, it was almost like I walked into this world. It was a gateway to my subconscious that these characters inhabited so naturally and so perfectly. So when I went to read with the deck, the whole world and the whole story was there. I've never ever experienced that before in a tarot deck. And I think it's because they're not like anything we've seen before. They're not like human animals. They're not like any other earthling. and they just get us into this other world. And the humour in the deck is also amazing. The Fool, I showed you him earlier. This Fool in Venice, the way he's just saying, na 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 na, catch me if you can. He doesn't care, he's free, he's paddling around with emotions, he's playing with the fish, he's following the moon, he's got his little pyjamas on and his little nightcap. He's from a dream world. And I like that. I like has his pyjamas, or his could be a convict suit, but I like the wee willy winky cap, and he doesn't care, He's just being. He knows we're not human doings, we are human beings. And he's a great fool. All of the cards are great. All of the cards are fantastic. The one I had earlier, which I've now lost. Oh, here we go. The Six of Swords. I mean, Patrick's take, he's got a hot air balloon, and he's got the, what do they call the lady at the front of the ship? I've forgotten her name, but he's got the moon and the flying ship. A different aspect, going up close to the moon. But it's still got that Six of Swords energy and basic energy about it. There's just some amazing cards. The Ace of Pentacles, the dragon. He reminds me of Schmorg, the dragon in the Tolkien Lord of the Rings and Hobbit books, clutching his gold. And the Ace of Wands, a creation with her little pea-pod lunar deviant baby, and the two faces. I love the trees growing out of her head, and the Tower card. The way, okay, the lightning struck and the towers crumbled and the guy's falling and he's fallen. But if you look at the fallen guy here, he's looking up to the light. He's looking on the bright side. He knows this is not the be-all and end-all. But it's just dramatic change. There's so much in this deck. It's just... Look, even the little buildings and the houses, and the way he's incorporated all the kind of the plants as well, the weird trees and plants into it. Do you see what I mean about a whole different universe? It's not just a tarot deck. It's a ticket to the subconscious. And you've got the factories. I like the way he used the inspiration of the buildings, the lunatic asylum and the graveyards, and all the textures come from these things. Because all those lunatic asylums, I've been to several lunatic asylums, and the energy in those places. See, the Sun card. Two black earthlings, that is just gorgeous. The energy of the lunatic asylums and graveyards is huge. I mean, there's so much sadness. Some people say this is a dark, shadowy deck, and yeah, it can be. If you ever go in one of those buildings, the energy yells and screams out from the walls at you. There's an artist. When I'm doing stuff like this and I'm in the spotlight, I always forget names. He did an exhibition very recently on Ellis Island, which is where they put some mentally insane, I think, and some prisoners. And he created... The exhibition was using pictures and all these things he found on the island. He's an amazing artist. He does a lot of work around the world. He did huge photos of people, which he pasted to the houses in South America. I can't remember the exact place now. And he also went to Palestine and did a similar thing. Look at this wand card with the moon. Nearly every card has a moon in some shape or form on it, whether it's on the clothing or quite often they are in the sky, in one of its phases or another. And as I said, the moon's really important to me. So this is the Hermit. The Hermit is He's screaming against the pain of the people and the city. I really relate to this hermit. He's trying to get away from himself and from the city and from the life there and the chaos, I think, of society. It's kind of hard to escape. He can still see the factory, and he's got the moon lighting in the distance. And that rotting fish down there, the stink of that fish is not going to let him forget easily. It's going to take time for that smell to go away, so he needs to take time out. And really, I think because it faces inward and not out is the looking inwards eye. And he is terrified and he is in pain, because that's what it feels like, especially if you're empathetic, to live in this world today sometimes. I live out in the sticks. I'm always known, everyone calls me a hermit, because I can't handle the energy of lots of people. So I can relate to this guy so strongly. I call him a guy, it could be a girl. It's this deck, in spite of some people have multiple breasts or whatever. Sometimes they're only on one side. I mean, okay, the Empress, look, you see, she's the multiple-breasted Empress. She's very plentiful, and she can provide for everything. But then she's got this serpent tail, and she knows she comes from a very long line. She comes from ancient times, and it's sprouting the rose and the new life. The old is giving birth to the new. She's kind of like maiden, mother, crone all in one, this Empress. She's just every card is amazing. I said, it's not just a tarot deck. The symbolism, the stuff that this guy's put into this deck is unbelievable. There's no shortcuts. Everything is done. I read a bit of the book, and even with all my previous research, I've shown you the full before, I didn't get quite how much Patrick put into it. A tiny little thing he would make in clay and photograph it to go on a card. Could be a tiny small piece of a card. This is probably my favourite card in the whole deck, the Seven of Pentacles. I love this little witch. She is probably my significator if I had one in the deck. She uses the rusty nail. She knows that she's got to give blood to learn anything. She's on a training course. She's climbed up here away from the city to do her work, and I just love her. I actually have a Gickley. Patrick sells large prints of the cards, and I have one of her. I think I'm going to have to get it framed, a frame handmade, because of the shape. I've been buying several frames, but none fit, so it's not. I've got it on the shelf over there, but it's still behind paper to protect it until I get it framed. Had it a while, but so. Okay, so look at this. He's a kind of. The masks remind me of the Venetian, I've forgotten the name again. What's his name? The guy with the long nose. Anyway, has that beautiful Venetian carnival look about it, and I don't know if you've been to Venice, but you can imagine these creatures walking through the alleyways of Venice at night. And when Venice is in carnival, it's very much like, you see all these masks everywhere. You can enter this realm of the subconscious. Masks are amazing, but we all wear masks, whether we have a physical mask or not. We all wear a mask, and so much of this deck has these different sides of the faces, which to me that is one of the big aspects about it. It makes it so easy for me to enter that subconscious realm, that other world that isn't on this planet. But so we've got the energy, we've got the shadowy feel, we've got all of the moons. Look at this page. The learner on his stilts. Amazing. There's so much. I'm going to do a walkthrough, and I'll go look more at the cards. It'll probably be more than one video because I've got quite a lot to say. But this is just some of the reasons that I can think of today why I love this deck. Before I've really read the book and digested it, and why I love all of Patrick's work. But this deck in particular, this whole universe he's created, is more than a tarot deck. As I said, it's more than. I don't think anyone in the world of tarot has achieved something like this, not in my opinion. And yet I am completely in love with it. This is an incredibly subjective video, and I make absolutely no apologies for that. And with that, I'm going to leave you with the lovers, because I love ya. Say bye for now. I hope you enjoyed this. Feel free to ask questions. Quite happy to make another one. Bye.